Alright, Hussland Part 3. So after fervently waffle stomping the Sub-Guardians out of the country, never mess with a man who knows how to bog you down and pick off your men, and then display them in the woods in the most gruesome fashion. Like, I'll also point out, the general that's sent has a connection directly to King Charles, who has, of course, this insane kind of cryomancy. The guy was freezing territory on his way to Selmy, the capital. It wasn't called that, but it was after they finally won this war. And our man Ivan just tanks this man's attacks. Like, directly. Cuts the man's hand off and kills him. That's where Sovgard goes, okay, fine, I don't want it. And they have to sign a peace deal with Ivan not to return and to open trade, which will be filtered through the main empire. Anyway, after the war is when the lords of Hussland acknowledge Ivan. This is where they're like, fine, you're king. And they actually give him a place to be capital, which is now Selmy. Right smack dab in the middle. Or slightly south of the middle. It's in the middle. So after that war, they kind of just go back to doing whatever. Ivan goes back to hunting creatures for sport, not really ruling anything, and letting everyone else make their own choices. The lords are going out of their way to sell a lot of different monster parts for ingredients. This is kind of their main thing. It's what they make money on, so it kind of booms, seeing as they're kind of the epicenter of a lot of Slavic creatures. Now, their big problem came with Rasheza. The Russians were more than interested in taking land from Hussland, but for a reason. Rasheza is mainly wasteland. For lore reasons, a lot of it is just kind of barren, and it's not really desert, but it's not really forest either. A lot of rocky terrain, and the ability to grow food is a very powerful one for a country that can't really grow any. Subsisting on monster parts can drive you mad at some point, especially with the same one all the time. So the Great War happens, and the Rashezans take their opportunity. They attack Hussland, they take a quarter of its land, and they also harass everyone else in the north. Ivan's able to push them back, but only a few months after the war starts, and even then, he's not able to really push them out of the original Hussland territory. They manage to push the Russians out a little bit more, and then they kind of cut it. And from there, not much else happens in Hussland until the closing of Urigen. A lot of it's just Ivan taking care of bandits and fighting the Vikings up north. The Daneland Vikings were a problem. But things were just quiet until everything cleared and people were able to leave Urigen.